Yo, Nyakan here. Today's video, I am going to take you through this website called Gen. Is it Gen AI? Yeah, Gen AI. And over here, there are one or two things that are pretty interesting that we can try and recreate using breakdance. And one thing that looks really interesting that I want us to recreate is this very drop down over here. Doing the drop down is pretty simple. If you want to do it by code, it's pretty straightforward. But if you do not want to do it by code, you want to use native breakdance to do it, that is what I'm going to show you. So within breakdance, there is no interactions. So there's no click, review, anything like that. So for us to do it, I'll have to hack breakdance a bit for you to achieve that. And whatever that we are going to build might not be semantically the best way to do it, but we are going to try to make it good. All right, this is what I did. So let's refresh. So there's the one that I created with breakdance. When you click on it, you do get, and you see when you click, there's even more smoother interaction than this. See this one, you click, it just shows up. All right, so let's try and then recreate this with breakdance. All right, so I have this section here. I'm going to duplicate it. And then we are going to remove the div that has the design inside. And then let's add a new div. So one more div. All right, so this div is what is going to hold the text and then the drop down. Then I'll click on add. I need an icon list. So icon list. And then I just need only one of it. And then over here, we can just say download. Let's call it more blocks, right? Let's download more blocks. And then from there, we want to add menu because that is what we are going to use to do it. So our menu builder is what is going to be the trick. So that is what we are hacking to create that whole thing over there. All right, so the list and then the menu. And let's click back on the div. Let's go into layout. And then we're going to choose horizontal. Then we're going to center it like that. And I think that should be good, right? All right. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything much right now. Let's go into the icon list. And then with this, I want to change this to something different. Let's look for Apple, right? Apple. Now let's choose that. Okay. And then with this, we can also do a bit of styling here. Maybe the size, we want something more smaller like that. I think that is good. So we are done with this for the moment. I'm going to click back on our div. And then with this, I'm going to go into my container. And then for padding, I don't want to touch the up and the down. I just want to give this on the side a padding of, let's say, 12 pixels. And then go into background for the div. And then for color, I'm going to change that to a black. All right, I think that is good. And we can go back to container, go into border radius. Let's give this one like 10 pixels. I think that is fine. All right, that is good. The next thing I want to do is I want to go into the menu builder. And with the menu builder, because we want to drop down, we are going to change it to show at desktop so that we do get that thing that we can just click on for the drop down to come. All right, going back into our div, I want to give this one a width of 270 pixels. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a line and then let's do space around, which is good. And one more thing that I want to do is let me go back into our menu builder and let's start styling this. All right, so we want to do the toggle, right? And the toggle, scroll all the way to the bottom of the toggle menu and then custom icon, click, and then let's scroll to the open. So for open, we are going to choose, let's look for up, right? And then all icons, and we can choose this. And then when you go down to the close, you can also type down, and then we can also choose that. So we do have this. Then we can scroll all the way up. Okay, there's nothing here to change. So for the icon size is what I'm looking for. I can open icon. All right, so let's do width. Let's do 12. All right, 12 is a bit smaller. Let's do 16. I think 16 is good. Okay, so that is pretty good. All right, nothing here more. And then we can come back in that toggle, same toggle, wrapper pattern. Let's click on the edit and let's drag this over here. This is where we want to do a bit of changes. The top, I'm gonna do 12. The bottom, I'm gonna do 10. And then the left, let's do another 12. And then for the right, let's do another 12. All right, I think that is good. Probably it's a bit small. So let's do 16. And then let's do 14. Yes, and then we can do 16 here too, and another 16 on this side. Okay, I think that is good. Going back into our dev, I'm gonna go into our container. I want to change this one to 16 so that it works perfectly. All right, I'm gonna save that. One thing that I also want is when you come back, you see that there's this line separating the two. We can also try and achieve that. We'll click back on our menu builder. We can do Shift F to get into the advanced mode and then look for border. All right, and then this, we want it on the left hand side, a border of 1. And then the color, we can choose, you can put it to white, right? And then just drag this all the way down to create that faint line over there, maybe too faint. So selecting back our menu builder, let's click on modifier, and then the color that we chose, let's bring it up a little. Let's see. All right, not the most brightest of it, but that is good. Okay, so now when you click, it does like that. I think probably we might have swapped the, yes, I think we've swapped it. So let's fix that. So menu builder, I want to go back into our toggle and then go into custom icon. And then I want to remove what we just did. So we want this one to be down for the beginning. So down. And then when you open it, you want it to be up. It doesn't matter. As long as people understand what you are doing there, I think that is the main point. All right. So when you go, we can remove, let's remove this top one, right? And then let's preview this in the front end. All right, so when you click, you get this, and then when you click, it goes away. The next thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that this is not like that too wide. That is actually ridiculous, right? All right, so to fix that, let's click back on our menu builder, and I want to toggle this open. And the first thing that I want to actually do is to make sure that our background color is fitting enough. Okay, background color over here, we can choose this black so that it matches the black over there. And one more thing, we can go into our links, right? Let's drag this to the side, and we don't want the borders, so we can do no border, so the borders are gone. And the next thing that we do want is that we want to make sure that this is centered in the middle, which is good, right? We can save that. So when you click, and then probably the offset is too much, so we can fix the offset too. So let's put this one to 0 first, so it goes to the, and then let's go to 50. Then we can just make it not too far away. All right, so this is good. So when we go back into the front end, we refresh, we click, we do have this black. We have these drop down things which we can fix later on, but this is what you can get. Now we might need to write 1 or 2 code just to fix the width, because within Breakdance you do not have the means of changing the width of this on mobile. On mobile you can do that, so we need to fix it. Over here you see mobile mode, you only have default, full width, full screen, and off canvas, so none of them actually pertains to you making this smaller, so we can hack it a little bit more. All right, in the front end we are going to open our inspector, and I am going to try and select what this is. All right, so this is what we want to actually hack. Okay, so what I want to do is, let's click back on here, and I want to say width, right? Let's say width of 270 pixels. All right, so as soon as you do that, it puts it all the way to the left hand side. We don't want that to happen. And then we also want to get into the left, and then let's say left of 0, so it brings it over here. And the next thing that we want to do is we want to try and then, all right, so what I'm going to do is I want to bring this all the way down, down, something more like this. All right, so around -223 pixels on the left will bring this right under where we want it to be. So let's save that. All right, the next thing that I want to do is I want to give it a border radius. So border radius of, let's say 15. I think 15 pixels is too much in comparison to what we did. So 10 pixels, right? And then we can save that too. All right, so this is all the code that we do need. But the next thing that we do want to actually find is the class itself. So this is the class. So what I'm going to do is I am going to copy this very one. So I copy that. And then let's go back into Breakdance. When our menu builder is selected, I'm going to go into the advanced mode. And within the advanced mode, I want to open this up. And then, all right, our selector is already populated. Over here, I'm going to paste our class, and then our class being, let's go back to the front end, and I'm going to copy everything over here. Go back into Breakdance and then paste that right there. You can see that I just dropped it over there, and then we can just close it. All right, so when we go back into our front end and then we refresh this, we click, you can see even the drop down, they work perfectly. If you want to use drop down, look at all of that. Pretty cool, right? Yeah, and then if you want to add those borders, you can, let's see how the borders will feel like when we add those, because I think it looks kind of like a bit too, go back into our links, right? So let's add the border, and then for the border, let's make it fainter, white. But the thing is that the top one is also there. So that is what the problem is. I probably might not want that. Right. So you can have something more like this. And then when you go back into, then when you refresh, you click here and then you can have this. Let's move away from it. So when you do this, you can have that. Let's say you do want to add, because over here, when you click, you can see that the hover works nicely. You can also do the hover. To do that, you can go into our link, right? Click on this link. Let's drag this to the side. And then for background, you do not want to add background. You just want to add a hover. Remember that on mobile, there's no hovering. So Breakdance doesn't give you that, like the opportunity to add a hover or anything like that. So we don't have none of that. So let's click on this and then we get the hover. And then I am going to add, let's say, a white, right? And I'm going to drag this all the way down. So when you have it, you do see that it works just like that. So we can just save it. Back over here, when we refresh, then you have, you can see that this is even better. The one over here at Jan, you can see that the top one is not actually all the way to the top, but this works better than what they do have. So in our case, we do have even a drop down that you can see nicely like that. But if you don't want to drop down, you can remove it. But one more thing is, if you want to actually make this something that connects to a file, you just have to change a few things over here. Like you have to remove all the drop downs and use the menu link, this menu link. That's what you have to use. And within that, you can just drop the link here to the file that you want people to go in and probably, yeah, either download or save it or whatever the situation is for you. If you want to add an icon to, you can also add an icon to your item. There are a few ways to do that. This video is not about that, it's just about the drop down, so I'm not going to cover that very aspect of it. So yeah, if you're looking to hack something more like this, you can do it. I might try and add it to one of my projects later on, because I think it's pretty cool and it's an easy way for you to showcase or to give people access to maybe links or something more like that. The name is Nyako. Thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'll be grateful, and the channel will grow even faster if you do click on that subscribe button down below. If you enjoyed the video, I'll be so glad if you give it a thumbs up, because it helps for this YouTube guys to show it to the other person who hasn't watched it. I'll catch you in the next one.